Yes, people. This is a place that we were stopping last week by drawing this thing. Can anyone confirm? Right, great. Okay, so yeah, so let's do it like this. So in this diagram, you can put an arrow over here and say, I'll type what to be written, so you may note it down, right? You can say this. Yeah, so regarding to, you can write this. And regarding the CC, Right. So the red color arrow, that is regarding the CC position, right? People, there are two words here. These recipients can see the recipients in two position as well as the other recipients in CC position. So this is going to be the BCC recipients, regarding BCC recipients. Okay, let me know when you are done, people. Yes, people, are we done? Yes, everyone. Are we still doing this? People, can you hear me clearly? Yes, people. Yeah, I have done some settings changes. Maybe your mics are not will be able to on due to some recent events. So if you need to communicate with me, it's better you go with the chat line or like the chat messages. Right. Anyone who is still writing? Raise the hand, like use the raise hand option if you are still writing. Okay, so I'm moving forward. And clearing these things out. People just check whether you can do the raise hand option. Yeah. Right, great. Okay. So I'm clearing out the stuffs. Okay, so let's move forward. Right, so yes. Later, yeah, we better write about these things. Plus this. We talked about these things last week, right? So it's better you write it down. People, let me know when you're done.
පරිසරයට විවිධතා දක්වන ඒ විදියට ගෙනියන්න සූදානම් කළ ඉදිරියදී තමයි මේ විදියට අනවශ්‍ය විදියට වැඩිහත් වෙලා මේ විදියට ප්‍රහාරයක් ඉල්ල කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මේක ඇත්තටම කියනවා නම් මහජන ආරක්ෂක පනත ගැන කතා කරමින් කරාට මහජන ආරක්ෂාව සම්පූර්ණ අමතකයට විපස්සනා තමයි අපිට පේන්නේ. මොකද මෙතනදී
Right. Okay, one is done. How about others? People, I have enabled the mics, so now you can unmute yourself. If you really need, so please don't unmute if you really don't need, right? Otherwise it will get disturbed. Right. Anyone who is still writing? Okay, so moving forward. Right, so the next one is about the instance messaging. So like instance messaging, you know about this instance messaging, right? So like the one that we were communicating, the WhatsApp, right? So it's the same thing, it's in the same domain when it comes to the instance messaging. So like WhatsApp, Viber, Imo, Messenger, different kinds of instant messages are there. So the common thing in between all these instance messages are like you need an internet connection to communicate, right? It is one of the facilities that is given by the internet. So anyone can enroll into this, or anyone can create a particular account inside this instance to use this instant messaging. Sometimes they depend on the mobile number, sometimes they depend on the app that you are working on. So like if you think about the WhatsApp, it is depending on the mobile number that you are going to use. If you think about the Messenger, it's depending on the username and the password, or like the user ID that you are using, right? So the way that they are used for create an account is different, but still it is able to communicate in many different ways, right? It is there to send a message. It is there to take a data call, or like a voice over internet protocol type of thing. And even they can communicate as a fax as well, right? So there are different kinds of instance messaging services. So you know like better than me, right? So then the other one is the video conference, the one that we are having for the moment, right? So video conference is there to have a conference with a different amount of people who are not geographically located in a one particular place, right? So you are geographically can be different places in the world, but through a video conference, you can meet face to face and communicate like you are sitting on a one single table, right? So to do a video conference, you need an audio capturing device, and a video, there should be a device to communicate the voice, like a microphone, and there should be a device to communicate your video, a webcam or an external or internal one, as well as definitely there should be a computer as well as a particular application which provides the video conference. So if you think about the applications, you know a lot now, right? There is Zoom, there is Teams, there is Google Meets, Skype, WebEx. There are many different ways that we can use for the video conference, right? And when it comes to the social networks, it is about creating a virtual community, right? That is how the social network has emerged, right? The concept that is given by the social network is like creating a virtual community, right? So like in physical world, we have the real community in your school, at the workplaces, at different at the universities. In different physical locations, people will gather, people will talk, they will share their experience, have their opinions, right? So it's a physical communication and a physical community, right? So when that thing taken into the internet, we don't need to gather around again. We don't need to stay in the same geographical location physically to communicate our opinion or our ideas. We can stay in different parts of the world, but still we can communicate to the same particular forum or same particular post or same particular blog when we need, right? So the social network has given that opportunity in a big time, right? Because if you are maintaining a blog, it is about the people who are like referring to that blog. There will be some particular restrictions over there, right? But when it comes to the social media, like Facebook, like Instagram, like YouTube, right? So different kinds of places, everyone can communicate, right? Everyone can comment, everyone can reply, everyone can respond if they are allowed to do so, right? So it's a place where the data is happening, or data is gathering in a very big way, right? In the world, they have used a special term called big data when it comes to the social networks, right? Because it is a very common place where you can find big data when it comes to the social networks. All right, so before we move to the cloud computing, let's finish about these things quickly, right? So have the heading, send an instance message.
Finish?
It seems to be, and Ami is on the way, so.
Is it already? I just thought that my.
Right. Once you are done with these people, with the heading, so it's a simple note that you have to write about. And as an examples, you have to write some examples after this. So you can find a lot of examples in this picture, right? Skype, WhatsApp, Viber, right? WeChat, right? Like what, Snapchat, there are many, right? So like write some examples, 2-3 examples that you know. Lamai, are we done?
My throat. Oh.
Okay. All right. So people are moving forward regarding video conference. Yeah, you have to write this definition regarding the video conference. Yeah, plus these things, the requirements. Right, first write this. So I will. You want to eat an apple? Okay, I will tell Amin. Right, so then you can. I will. So then I will score the screen paper. ළමයි මට විනාඩියක් දෙන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉවර කරගන්න මේක. Okay, are we done, people? Yes, people, are we done? Right. Anyone who is still writing? Right. Moving forward, let's write about the social networks. Yeah. So you have to write the entire thing, people. They have summarized it very well. And yeah, write these 3 examples as well. Yes, people, are we done? Yes, everyone, are we done? Okay, anyone who is still writing? Okay, so I'm moving forward. So I think this is the last topic. Yes, this is the last topic of the lesson. So it is called the cloud computing. Now, cloud computing, it's a very broad idea when it comes to the cloud computing. And it has many different services which is given by the cloud, and it is the technology that been advanced for the moment in the world. Now, the local storages are like local storage, the local computing, the concept of local computing. Local computing means like you are having a computer and all your details and all your things are inside that computer, that particular computer, right? So if you want to access those things, you have to open that computer, you have to on that computer and access to that. But when it comes to the cloud computing, it is independent from the local computer. Actually, it is independent from the device, right? So you can log into your cloud from anywhere, from any device, and then you can experience the cloud computing, right? So you can, like, the best chance, the best facility that is given is the you are location independent, right? You can manage your data, you can store your data, you can retrieve your data, you can share your data with many other people when you are having the cloud computing services, right? So basically, they are talking about three major services regarding cloud computing. Is like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, right? So that means infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. Those are the three main services, but there are many other services as well. And the first one is talking about infrastructure as a service, right? So like infrastructure means, as it defines over here, this provides a virtual environment of servers to provide space to store data and software application with the help of server computers, and also provide various resources through the use of large data centers established, right? So the example that they have given is obtain the facility of server space and firewall through cloud computing, even though you do not own them. Now, think about the local computer situation, right? If you got a local computer or like a personal computer, which we call a local computer, so you need to install the softwares by yourself, right? And to install that software, you need a storage in your computer, right? You need a specific hard disk, and that hard disk need space inside it. So you take a particular setup or a particular CD, you install it, or maybe you are downloading some apps from the particular app stores, right? And you install it into your computer, then you use for those things for your work, right? If you want to have the virus guarding process, or like the antivirus software services, you have to purchase an antivirus software and you have to install it into your computer. Then that antivirus software will give you the service. Now, basically, when it comes to those kind of things, in the cloud computing, we are not installing anything on behalf of the cloud computing. Cloud computing or the cloud itself is providing us the storage, the antivirus software as well for like the security purposes will be served by the cloud. So it is not being cost for us, as well as it is not installed in our local computer. What we are doing is we may like start in a browser and just giving the username and the password and log in into our system, right? Excuse me. So the most closest example that I can give you regarding the cloud computing is something or some service which is given by the Google Drive, right? So if you think about the Drive, so if you are visiting to your Drive, this is one of the cloud computing services. So all these things are files. So to store these things are stored inside the cloud. So it is not on my hard disk, as well as the server, in my case, the Google server is allowing me the storage to store these particular files. As well as when it comes to the softwares, they have given us many different softwares like the spreadsheets, like the Word document types, word processing softwares, like the drawing softwares, like the graphic editing softwares, graphic designing softwares, right? Maybe there are some basic things, but all these things are being stored in the cloud. So the infrastructure is given by the cloud. So we don't need a separate hard disk, or we don't need a separate antivirus software to protect our things, right? It is provided, that infrastructure is provided by the cloud. So that is what we call infrastructure as a service. Then the platform as a service means, now when you are using a computer, now my computer is on the Windows platform, right? So I have installed the Windows operating system. So on that, I'm getting a particular file explorer for me. So using that file explorer, I will be storing my all these files and folders inside this computer with the help of that platform. Right, as well as, you know, like if you want to develop a particular computer program, as we did, like the Charm Pascal is installed into our computer, and then we can start the Charm Pascal and do the coding. So we can create a particular program, then we can run it and test it over here. So as well as when we are running a program, to test that program, the facility is given by the platform, which means the Windows in my case. So when these services are provided by the cloud, then it is providing a platform as a service, right? So if you think about the Google Drive again, like through the browser, it is very likely that I am login into a particular operating system, right? I have my file explorer over here, right? All my files are here. I can create folders. I can have files uploaded. I can have the some particular new files being created using these kind of softwares. And there are many, right? So this kind of a file structure is provided by the operating system, right? In Windows, it is provided by the Windows. That is why File Explorer is there. So likewise, when it comes to the cloud computing, it is providing us the same environment, right? Which is like kind of a file structure, as well as we can use some particular software which will help us to build the program and test the programs. So again, that facility is given by the cloud. So that is why it is given the services as a platform. That is what you call platform as a service. And software as a service, that's the concrete thing that we can see when it comes to the cloud computing. Now, as I told you, in here, there are many different softwares have been installed. None of these things are installed in my computer, right? Inside my local computer, these particular softwares are not there. This is just in the cloud, right? So here, these are the most frequent things that I am using, which is a word processing software, a spreadsheet, a presentation software. You know about the Google Forms, it's kind of a database, right? And we have many: Google Drawing, Google Maps Maker, Google Sites, right? Airtables, right? So these kind of things are like the viewers for some particular files, right? And we can have the backup softwares, like Google App Script. This is kind of a developing software, right? Google Jamboard, the whiteboard software that is given. So likewise, there are many different apps inside this. So if you search for more apps in the Google, it will show you different kinds of like thousands of softwares that you can use through the cloud, right? So all these softwares are given by the cloud. That's the beauty of it. No physical space is needed in my computer. There is nothing called installation. There is nothing called setting up. I'm just logging into the cloud. So all the apps which are being there is just for me. And there are some things that I have to pay and take, right? But there are many different things that we can use. So that is what you call software as a service, right? Yeah, people, is that clear? Everyone? Yes, people, is that clear? Okay, right. So let's write about the cloud computing. So we can finish the session then after. So have the heading cloud computing. Yeah, you may write this sentence. Okay, are we done? Can we move forward? Right, so moving forward. So let us write about these three services. Infrastructure as a service. Yes, you only need to write the definition, what it is does. So same goes with the other three things. Platform as a service as well as the software as a service. Yeah. So have these things quickly, people, so we can, yeah, you can write the advantages and disadvantages at home. Right, once you finish that, then we can end the session. Right, let's finish these things down. Then after we can come to an end. Let me know when you are done, people. All right, if you are done, you can leave the session, but remember to write these advantages and disadvantages as your homework. So others, you can finish it and leave the lesson, right? So people who have done, you can leave the lesson, no worries. So we are officially done with this lesson. By next week, we are going to start the new lesson, and hopefully we will be able to start the physical classes by next week, right? So I'll send you the message and we will be able to find our physical class in the regular times, right? We'll see, right? So if you are done, you can go, right? Thank you very much. And I'll see you on next week for the very same time. Right, okay, everyone.